Hey guys, thanks for joining and welcome to my new channel, Old School UFC, which is to celebrate all things related to the UFC, mainly through Topps trading cards. As the title suggests, I really like the old school stuff. The fighters that were champions when I first got into watching the sport. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to share some of my collection with you, just as a discussion point really. It's not about showing off and trying to impress people with great cards. I just really like to talk about the cards, show what I have, hear what other people have got in their collections. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to break my collection down into sections. There's going to be booklets, dual autos, triple autos, triple threads, some really unusual single cards, and some relics, some matte relics. Most of these cards aren't high value. They're just older Topps. They really appeal to me, and they're something I've been collecting for a while now. So I first got into the UFC. The first event that I watched was UFC 51, and I've been a fan since then really. I've been collecting cards though only for about 3 years, so I missed the boat as regards collecting when I first got into it. Well, I'm sure a lot of these cards would have been really inexpensive, but living in the UK, as you can probably hear from the accent, I don't think there were any for sale in those days. I've got some signed mini posters and stuff that I collected back then, and actually on one of these videos I'll show some of those off, but I didn't get into cards until 3 years ago. I gradually built up my collection with some help from some really good people, some in the UK, most of them over in the US. I will say though, I have seen in the last 2 years so many new people come to the hobby in the UK. It's great to see there are now some really high quality cards in the UK, and it's fantastic to see. Anyway, I'm going to start off with showing some red inks. So these are one of the first cards I got into. They're old school. They're 2014, 2015, 2016, that sort of time. And I really like the way the red ink just pops off the card. They're beautiful cards. So I'm going to show you some of my red ink collection. A lot of them are the Scarlet Signature series, but I've also got some randoms as well to show you that I seem to have accumulated. So here we go. So as you can see, they're really beautiful cards. This one is Sarah McMahon, numbered to 50, and just really attractive with the red background, the red ink. I think they look gorgeous. Zingano, so two of Ronda Rousey's opponents there from back in the day. They're both numbered to 50, but it's interesting that Rousey's own card in this series, of which I managed to pick one up, is a number to 10, so it's quite a rare card. So that's quite a nice little set within a set. Actually, I think I've got a Liz Carmouche somewhere as well. So all Rousey opponents. I'm not a big fan of Rousey, to be honest, but that's a beautiful signature. I've seen some quite ropey signatures, but that's one of the better ones as far as I've seen. So 3 nice little cards there. These Scarlet signatures are lovely. There's Stipe, heavyweight champion. That's numbered to 20. So we've already got a 10, a 20 and a couple of 50s. One thing I've noticed with these cards is that the numbering is quite unusual. There's another 50 there. Showtime, Anthony Pettis, really exciting fighter back in the day. I like that one. He's signed it with his name but also with Showtime underneath. Now that one's numbered to 25, so a different denomination again there. 50, 10, 25 and a 20, just within those 5 cards. Let me show you a few more. Luke Rockhold, that's Rory McDonald. That's the 35. There was a time he was considered a future champion in weighting. One of the first real all-rounders within the sport, and exciting to watch. Not sure he was ever the same after the Robbie Lawler fight, but nice one to add to my collection. Jake Ellenberger to 35. You can tell this is my first video, can't you? I'm trying to get the camera angles right, so bear with me. Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis to 25. Talk in the day, back in the day, of him fighting John Jones. I think probably for his benefit, it's as well that didn't come off. But he certainly had some success in the UFC back in the day. Kenny Florian, a really talented featherweight back in the day. I think he fought Aldo, and he was a really gritty competitor. I think he fought BJ Penn as well, but I might be wrong on that. That's number 25 of 30 and part of the same set. These are dated 2015. Verdum, another heavyweight champ, along with Stipe. It's a nice card, number to 50. Really unusual signature. Hope you can see that in the light here. I'm getting a bit of glare, which I'm trying to avoid. Eddie Wineland to 25. Patrick Cote, the Predator. I think he fought Anderson Silva for the title, if I remember right, and blew his knee out. I like that one because he's written the Predator underneath his name. Nice little nickname, auto there. And there is on the Stefan Struve as well, who's written Skyscraper on his, number to 35. I can't stand Brendan Sharp, but I've got one of his cards. That's the only card of his I've got. It's number to 30. We've got Ryan Bader, who signed it Darth Vader, which is again a nice little quirk on his auto there to have. And then Johnny Bones Jones. These cards have really jumped up in value. I've seen these online as high as $2,000, which is crazy. I didn't even pay a quarter of that for this one 3 years ago. It was one of the first Jones cards that I picked up, number to 25, and obviously one that I'm really pleased to own. He's written John Bones Jones, as you can see. It's a decent auto for John. Some of his are a bit scruffy, but this is a good one. I've actually got a little John Bones Jones collection coming together now, a little PC of his, which I think 1 week will be a good set to show in one of these videos. So I'd say without a doubt, his card and Ronda's are probably the two standouts in this set so far. I can't find the Ronda now. Where is it? Oh, it's there somewhere. That's crazy. But there it is. So I'd say they're probably the two standouts of the red inks for me. But I have more here. Let's tie these up and I'll show you some. Not expensive, the red inks. You can pick a lot of, well, I'll say that. You used to be able to pick a lot of them up quite reasonably. Like a lot of the UFC cards, especially the older ones, they're going up quite dramatically in value. I found a few more here. Shane Carwin battered Brock Lesnar for a round and ran out of juice back in the day and got stopped. I think it was in the second round. I've got a Nate Marquardt here as well, part of that same set. And Johnny Hendricks signed it Big Rig underneath, which is great to see. Had a highly controversial fight with GSP for the title back in the day. Many people thought he won, and then sort of faded and fell away from the scene. But in his time, an absolute one-punch knockout merchant. Also Scarlet signatures, but from the year after 2016, I've got Mario Kampman, the Hitman, That's number to 25. Wonder Boy, Stephen Thompson. Just signed Wonder Boy, that one. That's number to 50. The Outlaw, Dan Hardy, number to 30. I've got a few Hardy cards. I think it's because he's in the UK. I'm in the UK. I like to pick up a few of his more unusual cards. And his red inks, I like the fact he's written the Outlaw on there. Bigfoot Silver. These are numbered to 20. And again, he's written Bigfoot under his signature. I don't know if you can just see that with the glare. I really like it when they put the inscription next to their name. Melendez has done it the same here. I think it's El Nino or El Nino, his nickname. That's number to 25. Brian Caraway. I can't remember what his nickname was, so I can't read that. Obviously not the biggest fighter. Number to 25. And then TJ DeLisle. Not one of my favourites, but there's no doubt in his quality back in the day. That's number to 25. So there's more red inks to show you. I'm not going to show you everything I've got, but I've been sorting these out today, so I thought it was a good place to start. In the landscape variation, rather than portrait, from the same year, so these are 2015, same as the first set I showed you. We've got Rumble, Anthony Johnson, number 8 of any 30. I'm starting to look for Rumble cards, particularly where he's written his inscription. RIP to Rumble, ferocious one-punch merchant. Unbelievable that he fought at welterweight all the way up to light heavy. Really pleased to pick up one of those in a red ink. Proper old school here, Pat Miletich, number to 35. Another Verdin. I've got the portrait style, this is the landscape style. Another variation, that's number to 40. So the numbering's really all over the place with these cards actually. Junior Dos Santos, a powerful, well, formidable heavyweight back in the day. That's number 33 of 45. So the numbering must have just been quite random actually. It didn't seem to be any pattern to it at all. The Iceman, fighting Vanderlei there. That's number to 50. Really pleased to pick that up. His cards seem to be going up in value all the time. Big, there's a real big fan base for the Iceman these days. Great to see. Scott Jorgensen, I can't make out, is it Young Gun, I think, or something like that? His nickname, number to 50. We've got Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, one of the brothers, also number to 50. Ed Sherman. I've got Sarah Kaufman, another Rousey opponent, number 50. Shogun, what a beast he was back in the day. I remember them announcing the fight with Forrest Griffin and thinking that Forrest was going to get absolutely mushed. But he rode out the storm, Shogun seemed to gas, and I think Forrest, it was a rear naked choke in the end with an exhausted Shogun belly down. But great card to get of a real classic fighter. Jim Miller, talk about an original OG. I think he fought at UFC 100, 200 and 300. So really pleased to pick that one up. Add it to the set. A personal favourite of mine, Royce Gracie. Great to pick one of those up as well. In a red ink. I've got a few Royce cards. Again, I try and go for something a bit different. And not just pick up the more common cards. Really pleased to see this up. His cards seem to be holding the value really well. Kane, one of the best heavyweight champions I think we've ever had. Number to 25. Another Pettis card, just signed Showtime this time, which I don't know whether they're all signed like that. It's the only one of these I've seen. Generally, once I pick a card up, I don't go searching for other variants of it. So there may be others that he's signed with his name, but that one's just Showtime, which made it more appealing to me actually. And here's that Liz Carmouche card I was talking about. So I've got probably 4 or 5 Rousey opponents. I haven't got a Misha Tate in red ink actually, that is missing from the set. Liz Carmouche. They're all the Scarlet signatures I'm showing today, other than maybe a couple of real randoms. I've got this random Matt Metrione patch to 10. Don't even know where I got that from. It may have been included in a bundle of cards I purchased. It's not something I'd have gone and bought specifically. And then there's some real randoms here. So these are numbered to 15, Carlos Condit, and their Bloodlines. So that's a 2012 Bloodlines red ink. I don't know if you can see that with the light. Beautiful card. There's a Ben Rothwell from the same set, first auto. A Thiago Silva. He was an absolute monster for a short time in the UFC. I remember him knocking out several fighters really quickly and ferociously. And they're all numbered to 15, which is a nice little subset. Mayhem Miller, on card auto, red ink, also to 15. I've got a few more of these on cards. Junior Dos Santos to 15. There's Tim Bosch, the Barbarian, again 15 and the first auto. Not the biggest names, but great to have them. Got Joseph Benavides, number 4 of 15, again on card auto. Alan Belcher, first auto on card. Scott Jorgensen to 15 as well. So quite a few randoms there to 15. There's another Scarlet Signatures patch here, which is Bigfoot, number to 10. I don't think that patch is from any particular event, but again, I can't remember where I got that from, but obviously there's only 10 of them, so it's worth having. Luke Rockhold to 15, bookend I think 15 of 15. Lost the tart to Bisping, if you remember, allowing complacency to get the better of him. I have no idea where I got this card from. Pat Berry out of 15, that's from 2011, so that's probably the earliest red ink I've got here. Never heard of this gentleman at all. He's inscribed it The Great. I don't know who he is, I have to be honest. I will say I'm not an expert. I enjoy collecting cards and watching the fights, but I'm not an expert. So if I make an error with a name, you'll have to accept my apologies. Darren Elkins out of 15. I remember this fella. So Gabriel Gonzaga. The image on that card actually is his famous knockout of Crow Cop in London in the UK, I believe. Devastating head kick knockout. Crow Cop was known as the head kick guy, and Gonzaga stopped him with a kick himself, knocked him cold, as I remember. That's out of 25, and that's from 2013. So a slightly different style red ink on that one. OSP to 15, another bookend. What year is that? 2014. These are just random oddments. And then finally, a really odd one. I have no idea where I got this card from. Ultimate Fighter out of 10, Chris Cope. C Murder, it looks like he's written there. And a bit about the fighter. One thing I like about the old school Topps cards is you used to get quite a lot of information on the back of the card, whereas these days they don't do that as much. But there we are. 20, 30, 40 different red inks to start off this channel. I hope you enjoyed seeing those cards. I'll be posting again later in the week. If there's anything you particularly want to see in my collection, or you particularly want me to talk about, let me know. Thank you for watching. I think I'm supposed to say like and subscribe here, but I don't know. I'm brand new to this, so who knows. But I hope you enjoyed seeing the red inks. You can see a few jewels there on my desk. I'll definitely be doing a session on booklets and jewel autos in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.